Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Melinda, and we are going to talk about Optavia. All right, so you obviously are interested in Optavia if you have come to this video, and I am going to talk to you today about starting Optavia and doing the 5-in-1 plan. The 5-in-1 plan is where you purchase 5 of Optavia's meals, which they call fuelings. So from here on out, I'm going to call them fuelings because we are fueling our body. All right, and the 1 is where you prepare your own meal that has to be a lean and green, which green is a vegetable, an approved vegetable. And that is what I'm going to talk to you today about, is the 5-in-1 program. When you first join Optavia as a client, you will join under a coach. That is one of the ways that they make sure that you have someone guiding you and helping you and encouraging you through every step of the program. Your coach should be the person that you will be able to reach out to answer any questions, or if you need a little motivation to keep going. When you go to Optavia website, you'll put your coach's information in there so they know that you are signing up under the coach. And a lot of times your coach will help you and guide you through the steps of signing up. So reach out to them if you are thinking about placing an order. I went with the ready-made packaged order for 5-in-1. There was a couple different options that they already packaged together, and I went ahead and bought one of those already made. I didn't know any of the tastings. I didn't know what I would like and what I wouldn't like. I didn't know what was in them. So I just went ahead and picked one of the ones that they already had together. Now, the ones that they pre-put together are 17 boxes. That is important because you need 22 to 23 boxes in order to go a full month. So know if you are picking one of the pre-put together options that it is 17 boxes, and you're going to need to add to those boxes to cover the full month. You need 22 to 23 depending on what you picked. Now, for example, for my second order, I picked a hot chocolate, which I know is a drink that I thought I would want during the winter months. So I purchased 23 boxes because I knew that I wasn't going to have a hot chocolate often. All right. Now, with that being said, how much do those boxes cost? Well, it depends on what you pick, to be honest. It can cost anywhere from $400 to $500 a month, depending on what you pick, and the 22 to 23 boxes. That's for 22 to 23 boxes. Now, I say depending on what you pick because I'm on the higher end of that. I'm around the 500, maybe a little bit more, because I pick 90% of my product as non-soy. They have all different types of options. They have some with no nuts, no soy, no milk. They have a variety. So if you, for any reason, have an allergy or a preference, they most likely do carry stuff for you. So look into it. And because I do the no soy, it is a little bit more expensive for those items. Also, depending on which brand you pick. Optavia used to be MetaFast, so they still carry a lot of MetaFast options. When you are purchasing it on your own and you're going through the items, if it is a lower price range around $19.95, then you know it's a MetaFast. If it's a higher price range of around $21.95, then you know it's an Optavia. Also, when they show you the pictures, if it shows it with the box in the picture, then it's an Optavia. If it does not show the box, then it might be a Medifast. So those are a couple ways. The difference between a Medifast fueling and an Optavia fueling is that Optavia has more of vitamins and minerals in each of the fuelings that will help you along your journey. I'm not saying Medifast isn't good. I have purchased a few of the Medifast because they're non-soy products and they're good. All right, shipping. The first time the process is a little bit longer than normal. They work Monday through Friday, they don't work weekends, and they don't work holidays. So depending on when you do your first order, depends on when it will ship out. And then of course, depending on where you live, they say it takes 1 to 2 weeks to get to you. I live a little closer to the distribution, so it took a week. And then I renew on a Friday, so it takes a week as well for me to get my products. So be aware of that on how many fuelings you have left for your shipping to get it to you in time. All right. Now when it comes to the program, and the 5-in-1 is what I'm going to talk about this whole video, there is a timing rule to your program. You need to eat within an hour of waking up, and you usually need to eat an hour before going to bed. And then you need to space your fuelings and your lean and green between 2 to 3 hours in between those throughout the day. It all depends on how or what time you wake up and what time you normally go to bed to justify how many hours you're gonna be. Are you gonna be on the 2 side or the 3 side? When I first started, I was on the 3 side and it was killing me. I was hungry all the time. So what I was recommended to do, and I do absolutely do it now, which has helped so much because it's taken me down to 2.5 hours for each fueling, is I split my lean and green. I have half of it at one time, and then at another time I have half of it. Do not do extra fuelings. Do not do extra lean and green. Stick to exactly the program in order to lose the weight in which they say that you will lose. Of course, everyone's different, so they can't give you exact numbers, but the program does work, absolutely. But with that being said, there's other factors to it as well. On the lean and green, that's the one meal that you get to do a day. Let me go back real quick. If you are on the 5-in-1, make sure you're eating all 5 fuelings for that day. It is already a low calorie count and you don't want to go too far under. For this program, they specifically say you need to eat all 5 fuelings and your lean and green. Okay, now on to the lean and green. That all depends, there's a lot. That all depends on what type of lean you pick. There is the lean, which can be beef, ground beef, chicken legs, chicken thighs. You get 5 ounces of that lean. You get a book on all this too when you sign up. So don't worry, you get this information. If you pick a leaner option, which is a chicken breast or ground turkey, then you get 6 ounces and you get 1 tablespoon of fat that you do need to add to it in order to have the correct calories and the working the system in your body. And the leanest option is like shrimp or 98% fat ground turkey. Those type of items are 7 ounces and you need 2 tablespoons of fat. Now what are fats, right? It can be oils, it can be butters, mayonnaise, avocado. They give a nice little sheet that you can go on and print out, which is nice. Healthy fat list. And you can just go down and look at it, like olives, cashews, guacamole, nuts, which is cashews, oils, mayonnaise, They have seeds, they have all kinds of different information that you can use. It's fantastic. It really lays it out. Now on top of that, you get 3 condiments a day. Now what are the 3 condiments, right? It can be anywhere from garlic salt, salt and pepper, seasoning, spices. But once again, they give you a nice little list of all your condiments that you possibly can have and what the measurement would be for each one. For example, for mayonnaise, for 1 fat, you get a half a tablespoon. Unless you use a reduced mayonnaise, and you get 1 tablespoon. And it talks about that, all the measurements, all that in here, which is fantastic. One thing though that you need to be aware of is cheese. And you'll see it all over social media that they use the laughing cow cheese. I shouldn't say that. They use a spreadable cheese. It doesn't matter what the brand is, sorry. But they use a spreadable cheese, and it comes in wedges depending on what brand you use. I personally use the Aldi brand when I need to supplement sometimes my lean. Now when I say that, is be careful with cheeses, because it can be a lean, so you can add it. Instead of doing 7 ounces of shrimp, you might do 5 ounces of shrimp and then do what the equivalent of another ounce of lean in cheese is. A cheese can be a fat, the same one. The spreadable cheese can be a lean, it can be a fat, so it can be your fat for the day, and it can be used as a condiment. So depending on where you're putting it in to your program, well, you need to make sure that you accommodate for that as well. So some of these items, like cheese, can be a lean, it can be a fat, and it can be a condiment. So be very aware of that on when you're picking what you're going to use for the day. All right, moving on to greens. Greens are your vegetables, and depending on which vegetable you pick, it's in half cups. You get 1.5 cups of a vegetable. Unless it's lettuce, then you get 3 cups of lettuce, depending on what lettuce it is. But once again, they make it easy. They give a nice little printable on your vegetables. And it talks about the vegetables you can have, like asparagus, broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, celery, the list goes on. There are some vegetables you are not allowed to have, like corn and carrots, and Brussels sprouts are my favorite, but they're too high in sugar and carbohydrates, so at this point on the 5-in-1, they're not allowed. And of course, like potatoes, the starches, no. One of the recommendations I do recommend for this program is get a scale. Get a kitchen scale that you can weigh your food with. And I say this because you think, oh, that's 6 ounces of chicken and I'm using my cups for broccoli, say. And you're like, oh, I'm eating it. Oh, I'm so hungry still. Well, I was not eating the appropriate amount at all. I got a kitchen scale, and 6 ounces of chicken was a lot more than I thought it was. I was only eating 3 ounces of chicken, which was not very much and was not holding me over. That's for sure. And then they give you a conversion on this same approved vegetable. They give you a conversion on if you're going to use it as a scale and weigh it versus a cup of. For example, broccoli raw, a half a cup would be 1.55 ounces. And so you can weigh it out. And remember, you get 3 half cups, so a cup and a half. I highly recommend getting a scale. It's amazing how unaware of what the weight of food really was. I didn't realize. All right, water. Get your water in. They recommend 64 ounces of water a day. I do a lot more of that only because I feel that the food makes me thirsty, as well as it can be a way of controlling the hunger, is just drink water instead. You're allowed to have coffee and tea as long as it doesn't have any creamer, it doesn't have any sugar in it. We're trying to cut out the sugar and the carbohydrates, so do not add it. And unless you're going to use it as one of your fats or condiments for the day. But that does not include your water ounces. You still need to get your water ounces on top of the coffee or the tea that you have. Make sure you get your water in. Super important. Not only does it clean out the system, but it will keep you hydrated and help with what I'm going to tell you in a minute, which is the first week expectations, that you can expect to go through a little bit of a detox because you're cutting out so much sugar and carbohydrates. You do eat carbohydrates in the fuelings. They do put some in there, like there's a mac and cheese one, but there's even a pancake one. But your lean and green does not have the carbohydrates anymore, and so your body needs to flush that out of its system. And some of the ways it does that is it might give you headaches. You're going to be so tired in the beginning. You might be irritable. And yes, I had a headache the first day, but I upped my water and it went away. And then I was so tired and irritable. And they say after 3 weeks, and they say after 3 weeks you get more energy. And I have not seen that yet, but other people swear by it. And I think the only reason I don't is because I have long days and I don't sleep very much. So it has nothing to do with the program. It's just my days. All right. So I think I covered all the firsts and information that I wanted to make sure I got out there, especially about the condiments and the fat, and that they can cross boundaries, so be careful of that. And make sure you stay within the time frame, you drink your water, and everything is gonna be great. If you have any questions about starting the program, just leave it in the comments down below. I would be more than happy to answer any questions you have. And if I don't know, I will try to find it for you. All right, I think that's it for the first getting into what you need to know. And if you're new here, think about hitting the subscribe button. We'd love to have you join our family. And until next time, bye everyone.